Stage Door.
This is Broadway's Christopher Rice Thompson.
And this is Clay Rice Thompson.
And you're listening to the Stage Door Show with Dave Hondel.
3, 2, 1.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stage Door. This is Dave Hondel. I have a great show tonight. I'm so excited tonight because we have the Cleveland Central High School Drama Club with us. From time to time, we showcase local high schools and community theaters and regional theaters. And tonight, I'm honored to have with us Cleveland Central High School Drama Club. And with us, we have on the phone right now, we have Caden Craddock and Audrey Robinson. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, I wanted to start with you two because we have the situation, obviously, everybody's in quarantine. Most of the country is in quarantine right now. And unfortunately, a lot of shows were either canceled or postponed, and a lot of schools obviously were closed for the rest of the year. And so unfortunately you weren't able to do your final show. And Audrey, I'll start with you. Just talking to you the other day, I think that, what's unique about your program is that you guys have a great drama program, but you really kind of run it as students, correct?
Yeah, it's very student organized. We have a student council. We have a lot of student direction going on.
So talk about the process. First of all, how do you pick what show you're going to do? And second of all, how do you go about casting it? Again, what's the process like?
Well, our first show that we do every year is a straight play. And typically the end of one school year, we'll go ahead and assemble our student council for the next year. And then over the summer, we'll all read shows that Grant has suggested or that one of us has suggested, and we all read them, and we decide which one we think is the best suit for our drama club. And then typically, whoever is the president of our drama club steps up and will student direct the play. So this year that was Caden. She was our student director. And so then once we choose a show, we go into the casting. And it's a very unique situation because often the director is also in the show because they're a student and they still want to participate in their show. A lot of times you'll have someone who is on stage as an actor while simultaneously on stage and directing, which is a very unique thing to our Lowell Drama Club.
Now, you mentioned Grant, and for the listeners, that's Matthew Grant or Mr. Grant. He is your theater director, correct? Or your theater teacher?
Yes, he is. Okay,
great. That's awesome. And Caden, I know you're a senior at the high school. First of all, tell me a little bit about your town. I mean, Cleveland, Mississippi. Tell us about your town and your high school.
Well, we both attend Cleveland Central High School. And it just recently became Cleveland Central High School about 3 years ago. Both of the town's two high schools consolidated into one. And Cleveland is one of those, token small towns. There's not much going on, but there are a few golden spots here and there that really make the town shine, I guess. Recently, we just got the second Grammy Museum in the entire nation. I think the other one's in California. So there's not much going on, but we enjoy it the best we can.
Now, what museum did you say it was?
The Grammy Museum of Mississippi.
Oh, the Grammy Museum.
So every so often we'll have different artists, little tours go around. So a couple months ago we had the Jackson 5, I think, and then we had Taylor Swift, and it kind of shifts out every month.
I think that is so cool that you have the Grammy Museum in Cleveland, Mississippi. That is amazing. I see that Matthew Grant has joined us on the phone line, so I'm going to bring him in right now. So, Mr. Grant, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
I'm good. We've been speaking to your students here, and it's been amazing to see what you guys have put together in some of the videos that I've seen. That were actually submitted to the casting call for the Stage Door, and it was nice talking to you the other night, Mr. Grant, with your program. Now that you're with us, I wanted to have you kind of explain your program in its entirety. Really, I mean, what's special about your program? And I know it's mostly student run, but tell us a little bit about the Cleveland Central High School Drama Club.
All right. The Cleveland Central High School Drama Club started about 3 years ago when we combined, as I heard Caden talk about. We were originally two separate schools doing one drama program, Eastside High School and Cleveland High School. We did shows like Lion King, Into the Woods, and then when we combined, it was just nothing different than what we've done before, except everything was centrally located, and now we had more opportunities for students to partake in. Since then, our program has been growing. We have an estimate between 38 to 42 members. We have reinitiated our thespian troupe, Troop 5517, which was the thespian troupe when I was in high school. So we've reinstated that, and we've been growing every year. We get people from the middle school to come help with some of our plays, specifically our musicals in the spring, and then that brings them on. And then we get, sometimes if it's a show that allows it, we'll even go down to the elementary level. But we've been growing, and it just keeps going.
That's fantastic. And I was talking to Audrey a little bit too about this earlier, about the fact that your theater program is really, mostly run by your students and with your direction, of course. But talk about that, and is that unique in the theater world, especially in high school, or is that something that schools are going more to, student-run programs?
It depends on where you're at. Since we started the competition plays a while back, at least since I've taken over, we've had a couple of students who had shown potential in directing. So we're going to let them student direct. It looks good at competition if a student directs a show, and it gives them a chance to try things out besides just acting. This past show, Audrey, who came and wanted to get a little bit more in-depth, and I asked her to first help me with doing music, to help with that. And then she proceeded to tell me she wanted to go into set design. So I was like, well, guess what? You get to now design the set because you need to learn to do that. So I encourage students to take charge to help them, especially if they want to go into a career in theater. The more experience they get, the better it looks on a college resume and then on a professional resume, seeing that you have these credentials. So in some aspects, we are unique because I do encourage students, and when they take charge, they seem to do a better job than me pointing fingers at, hey, you got to do this. But it's more of a full collaborative effort among just the students and myself.
Yeah, I mean, what is your overall philosophy as a teacher of the arts and theater and working with, high school students? What's your overall philosophy?
My overall philosophy would be exposing students to theater in ways they have never been exposed to, different styles, showing that anybody can try things and do things in the world, how theater is more than just acting, that there's the whole art aspect to it, and it's one of the few art forms that takes every single art form there is. I've been very passionate about theater for a very long time, and I want to kind of spread that enthusiasm, and it's fun seeing students who are taking me for, say, Theater 1, and then they get hooked, and then they join drama club and goes from there.
Yeah, it's I think the arts in any form. And there's one thing I wanted to ask you, because this is something I actually had a podcast on recently, where I dug out interviews from Lin-Manuel Miranda and also David Byrne, who are very passionate about this topic. But funding for the arts in our schools, and obviously it's probably jurisdictional, how funded schools are. But what is your feeling on that topic? Do you feel that schools are underfunded in the arts department when it comes to other extracurricular activities like sports? Do you feel it could be better funded, or do you feel like in your case that you guys are funded enough where you can put on your productions and do I think what other schools might not be able to do, because that's something that's kind of a hot topic right now?
Yes. every year I meet with all the theater teachers of Mississippi, and we always have a conference, several conferences throughout the year. And we are one of the fortunate schools to be able to perform because we have such a following and a backing by parents and the city. Our town is very arts oriented, especially with the Grammy Museum coming in. But I have dealt with towns whose programs don't really get off the ground too much because, for example, there's a town where they're not allowed to have students stay after school for really any kind of big program at all because they don't have a way to pay the bus drivers. So they don't get to have anything after school. Any kind of sports things would be done, I think, during like an activity period. So if you wanted to do a play like that, there are places where they don't have, they're performing in cafeterias or libraries because they don't have a stage. And when they come to competition, they're performing on a stage, a show, probably for the very first time. We are fortunate enough to have a decent auditorium, and it just got remodeled, and we have a really good town and a principal that supports us 100%. So that's also helpful, is when you have administration that supports. And some places don't get that. They see this is only sports, and because we are in the Deep South, football is a big deal, and so is basketball. Those are our two big sports down here. And some places, if you are not in that area, they don't see the value of the arts. And some programs like music falls by the wayside, or even fine art. Band might be a thing that they do because it could support the football team, so they'll do that. But theater programs, music programs, and stuff like that are kind of hard down here in the South, especially if you're a Title I school.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that feedback on that as a theater director. I want to move on to some of the students. I know, Audrey, before we let you and Caden go here, I just wanted to try to get your, what was your favorite production? I guess, you've been in that school for a while now. What was your favorite production, and what was your favorite role?
I would have to say my favorite production so far as a whole show would probably be our last play, which was Selkie, because I worked as assistant director under Caden, and we grew really close as friends and as working partners. And that was also my favorite role. I got to play Tam McCauldron, who is a young Scottish boy. So it was a real challenge for me to be playing someone of the opposite gender. And I really appreciated the challenge, and I grew to really love him as a person.
And also talk about, and you and I talked the other day about this, but about the a one act. You guys did very well on one of your one act productions, and talk about that. And I think you did pretty well, right?
Yes, that would have been a year ago with our show Elephant's Graveyard, which my sister actually directed. We went on to win second place at state. That's fantastic! Wow. And I know that's a lot of competition, right? I mean, a lot of schools go to state every year, so that's great. Caden, I wanted to ask you, now that you're a senior, what is your next step? Where are you going to go from here? Are you going to stay in the arts, or are you going to move on to something else?
I'm actually working on my BFA at the University of Mississippi. I was initially supposed to do an in-person audition towards the end of March, but the coronavirus kind of canceled that. So I sent in my audition tapes, and I'm currently waiting to hear back from that. But if I do not get into the BFA program, I'm going to do my BA at the University of Mississippi.
Oh, well, that's a great school as well. So that's, good luck to you. And unfortunately with the pandemic, obviously weren't able to do your last show. But, I guess the nice thing about this, what I'm learning is that family time is obviously, worth it. And just to see your performances that you sent in, that was awesome. So thank you for that. And right now I want to bring in Devin Harbin. And you're a student there as well at Cleveland Central High School. So Devin, tell me about your favorite role and what are you looking forward to do next year?
Well, my favorite role has probably been the trainer in Elephant's Graveyard. The trainer was a person who was very sad because, you know, in the story, he falls in love with an elephant and he trains the elephant. And the elephant ends up dying. And so that was a very hard role for me to get into because, you know, I've never done a role like that. And so I would probably say that's been my favorite role.
Devin, so how did you get into the theater? I mean, how did you get into drama? And I guess what was your process like was that something you were always interested in, getting into drama, or was it something that you took a class and you decided you liked it and got into it? What was your history about getting into the theater?
Well, when I was in elementary school, my school was very big in arts, and so we used to go to the BPAC, the Bologna Performing Arts Center at Delta State, and we would watch shows that come there to perform, and I would always be interested in it. Like, it grabbed all my attention, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So when my school put on the show, my first play was Alice in Wonderland, and I was one of the Cheshire Cats. I just fell in love with it, and I've been doing it ever since then.
Is it something you want to continue to do after school?
Definitely. When college, I just want to keep doing it, you know. Go to art school when I graduate and just continue to pursue that dream.
What's your ultimate goal? What do you want to do 5 years down the road?
Well, I want to be on Broadway, you know, just to see how it is. I feel like that's like very big, and it lets you know that you're good enough to make it. Like, even if it's like Broadway Junior, you know that you have the talent to be with those people, and you know, that's just something I would like to do.
Well, I think you can do it, and you know, keep working hard. And I think, are you on your junior, sophomore? What year of high school are you in?
Sophomore.
You're a sophomore. Okay, so you have a couple years left. So you have a couple more years to hone your skills in the high school level and move on to college. So you have definitely a lot of years to hone your craft and to get onto Broadway. So I have no doubt you can do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And right now, I want to bring on Eliza. Eliza Hardy, and she's also a student at Cleveland Central High School. So, hi, Eliza. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, what year of you in school? I'm sorry. What year of school are you in?
I'm also a 10th grader at CCHS.
Okay, so you're a sophomore. So, this has obviously been a tough year for everybody, and you know, I know you have a couple years left of theater and of school. So, what are you looking forward to, I guess, next year once this all gets past us and we're able to get back on stage again? I mean, are you looking forward to getting back into your musicals and your plays?
Well, hearing the news that our current spring musical, was canceled due to circumstances, it's definitely something you have to stop and think about, but then you realize, well, me personally, I do have 2 more years, and I do really feel for Audrey and Caden, all seniors around everywhere. And it's hard because you're like, well, what do I do now? But yes, we took the opportunity to post videos, and honestly, y'all saw those. But I really do enjoy theater, and I feel for everybody who participates in theater everywhere, because it's hard to realize that you may never sing a song again, but you always have to just look for the best. Personally, I'm still at home and taking the opportunity to learn songs and looking into musicals or plays that maybe I can do in my next 2 years of high school.
That's incredible. That's great. And again, best of luck to you on that. I just wanted you to know, everybody, we're going to be doing some more of these casting calls. So we want to give you the opportunity, everyone, to be able to submit, more of your performances, because I think it's important that everybody sees what's going on out there, because although the theaters are closed, you can still perform, and we want to see those performances. So be looking for more of those casting calls, and everybody feels for you guys. And, we at the Stage Door, we're all in the industry. I come from a music business background. We have my co-host Tom, who's usually on the shows. He's a film director. We want everybody to realize that we're here to support you in your arts, and we want you to be seen by as many people as possible. And I know Cleveland obviously is a small town in Mississippi, but it's big. It's a big town in our hearts by watching everything that you guys send in. And we're, like I said, we're here for you guys. So if there's anything we can do to help support your program, we're here for you. So again, Mr. Grant and Eliza and Caden and Audrey and Devin. I'll make sure I didn't forget anybody. I think that's that's everybody on the phone. I just wanted to thank you for coming on our show tonight, and again, best of luck to all of you in the future. And keep working hard, and with determination and hard work, you guys will be where you want to be. And if it's not in the theater, if it's being a nurse or doctor or anything, whatever it is, it's you're going to be successful. So just keep up the hard work. And thank you for coming on our show. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your future. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
for having me.
Thank you.